to win the championship. One driver has already placed himself there. That's Noah Gragson. But Dylan, we're understanding there's some breaking news with the 9 car.
Yes, breaking, no pun or pun intended, depending on how you look at it. So this is the brake line off of the right front of the 9 car. That little pinch right there is obviously a cause for concern. So behind us here, they are in the process of basically completing a brake line reinstallation process. So they've had all the fluid out of the brakes and everything down here, which is down here on pit road. And it's a little bit of a thrash down here just to make sure they got brake pressure and the lines aren't clogged, and they got to bleed the lines to get all the air out of them and everything else. So that was the issue. Thankfully, it didn't cause any damage or anything on the racetrack. But nonetheless, you got to have brakes and working brakes here at Martinsville. So that's what they're working on here on the 9 car.
So Dave, how does something like that happen to a car like the 9 of Junior Motorsports? Well, that braided line that Dylan had it's called a whip line. The entire car is plumbed with like a hard steel brake line, and then when it gets to the end of that hard steel brake line, you have to have it connected over to the caliper. The suspension moves up and down. Well, that pinch right there looks like one of 2 very clear things. The easiest is when you jack these cars up, the upper control arms droop down, and they usually go either against the stop or against the chassis, and that looks like it was kind of sandwiched between the 2. That's the shape of that pinch on the brake line. The other way is if you turn right and left, you also can have some contact with some steering stops. So either while the car was being jacked up or while the car was being steered through the garage area, that brake line got pinched either between the upper control arm or perhaps the spindle and something else. That is like your #1 fear. You tie them up all certain ways to try to make sure you don't have that